Amatsu Gai must die. This is MJ. I love Tokusatsu, and right now I want to talk about Kamen Rider 01, episode 24. This happens to be MJ Loves Toku, episode 42. I find that little mirroring, rhyming, palindroming exciting. Anyway, this episode, just like the last one, was written by Minato Takano and directed by Satoshi Morota. I have to say, I very much liked both the writing and the directing, although as far as I know, there are multiple directors on these shows, and the named one typically is the action director who directs the fight scenes. I don't know if they do all of the shots as well. I hear that there's, another director who helps with those sorts of things at times as well. But then again, I don't know about the whole production thing. So here we are. I have been touched by the will of the Ark and become incensed at the malice of a human, and now want to destroy him. So, interestingly, Amatsu Gai, up to this point, I've been more concerned with what he's doing, with what his overall plan is, and with how he is able to justify himself and act as if he is noble in his intentions, because of how dirty he has been. How I don't mind people who break the rules. I'm not one of those rules are meant to be broken people, because rules are actually meant to be followed for very specific reasons and for very specific outcomes. I think I reject most rules on principle, but there are certain rules that you don't violate, and the basic rules I live by, I guess besides the 10 Commandments, at the root of things, is really do not do. Okay, so there's the golden rule. I think most people know that. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. And then there's the inverse golden rule, which actually comes from, who does that come from? Is it Gamal? Is it Hillel? Shammai? It's either Hillel or Shammai. This dude, who I believe is a Roman or something, goes to one of these Jewish sages and he says, "Hey, man, if you can teach me your whole Torah on one foot while I stand on one foot, I'll convert and, be like a great Jew," or whatever, right? So the guy stands on one foot. He goes to one of these guys. There were these two dudes, Hillel and Shammai, and one of them was very severe and the other was kind of more into outreach. Anyway, they were kind of equal opposites. It's kind of like a, Tokusatsu, hot-blooded red who's, happy and loves people, and then the, the blue or the black ranger who's, kind of salty. That's what these guys were kind of like. Anyway, on the same team, just, different perspectives. Anyway, so one guy chases the guy away and, attacks him with a broom or a stick or something like that, and the guy runs. And then he goes to the other guy, and he's like, "Oh, these guys." Anyway, so then he stands on his foot, and the guy says, "Do not do that which is hateful to others. That is the whole Torah. Now go and study the rest of this commentary." So, the basic principle is you don't steal things from people. You don't attack them unprovoked, and you don't lie or defraud people. So this whole entire time, Amatsu Gai has been lying. He's been defrauding. You could sort of say he hasn't been directly attacking people, but in this episode, he directly attacked Angie. He knocked him down, and he slapped one of those Zenitsu Rise belts on him in order to get him to turn into a Humagear so that he could justify murdering him. And that's the same as a dirty cop planting evidence on somebody, or saying, "He's reaching for his waistband, I feared for my life, put the gun down," to his, audio recorder on his chest or whatever, as opposed to, body camera or whatnot. And that is so wicked. That is so evil. That scene really turned me against Amatsu Gai. And there's been speculation I've been paying attention to, people saying "Oh, is he going to turn around? Is he just a placeholder villain?" And for some reason, when they said a placeholder villain, I thought, is he a placeholder villain who will become part of the main team and he'll end up helping them out? I don't know. I really don't want that to happen. If it happens, I'm not going to gripe about it too much, unless it's super ridiculous. But this guy needs to have a huge turnaround. And of course, I don't want him to die. Not the actor, not the character. Although the actor, dude, he did a phenomenal job being just a smug, arrogant piece of, hey, that's interesting. Oh, sorry, I got distracted for a second there. So anyway, yeah, the actor's doing a very good job with Amatsu Gai, and I am super angry at this guy. Although, you know what? I'm going to say I'm mad that he's getting, like, a little spin-off, like The Rise of Kamen Rider Thouser, or whatever the heck it's called. I bumped something and messed up my recording. So anyway, the Rise of Thouser spin-off thing that's happening. I don't want to see this guy justified. I don't want to see him turned into a hero. I guess I don't mind seeing his story and how he got from, point A to point genocidal jerk. But yeah, man, I am totally turned against this guy 1,000%. I am 1,000 against Amatsu Gai now, and he better not have a character redemption. And if he does, I hope it's very slight and that he dies in order to affect his redemption. And then that's it. That'd be nice. I'd just like to see him be defeated and depowered and deloused. No, I'm sorry. I'm not even sure what that is, but that's I think that's something nasty. So, anyway, yeah, I just want to see him. I want to see him get his comeuppance, and like he got trounced this episode, and I was so happy that he got trounced by a clear-headed Aruto Shoto. I mean, President Aruto, and that Izu was able to do this whole thing where she, turned Metal Cluster Hopper around. So I really like the idea that Metal Cluster Hopper, it's a cluster of metal hoppers. Yeah, and that they all have these negative impulses, and it's all the negativity that the arc had been fed by Amatsu Gai, a human who was talking about all the malice of humans and how bad they are and whatnot. And then this Humagear, who has been treated with love and respect by probably Koronosuke Hiden, and certainly by Aruto Hiden, or yeah, Aruto. That's his given name versus his family name. Anyway, so, because of the tenderness and the love and the care and the friendship that Aruto has treated all these different Humagear with, we get this really awesome scene where she goes around and she orchestrates this whole thing where they infiltrate Metsubo Jinrai, which I think Django Jose, is that how you would say that name? I don't know. I've never pronounced it. I've only seen it out loud. Anyway, but you know who you are, dude. Anyway, that's a great point. Why does Naruto search for the Ark and, dismantle it or whatever? Well, they didn't quite do that, but they came pretty close. And it was enough for me because they went and they stole the Metal Cluster Hopper information from there. And you had, Subaru, is it the guy? The space guy? I don't know everybody's names. But, you had all these Humagear acting together, all these people who had been helped in a very real way, in a very dramatic way by Aruto through all these different circumstances, and who he had defended and stood up for. And because of that, they have all these positive vibes towards him, and they're able to supplant, to take over, to overwrite basically the negative impulses from the arc that are, poisoning and clouding his judgment basically. And they're able to, get it. I mean, you watch the episode, you know exactly what happened. I'm just describing the mechanics of it, kind of slowly and spelling it out to just say how beautiful that concept is, that you can overcome the power of hate, you can overcome malice with love and with positivity. And that's the stuff I love out of Kamen Rider. As much as I enjoy the, Kaizo Ningen and the, Kaijin, and which I'm not confusing that with kaiju, it's the monsters, and the mutants from Black RX, or Black, and then Crisis Empire and Black RX, and all these different things, the motorcycle, the the cool tough guyness, the macho-ness, all these really great things that you don't necessarily get in modern Kamen Rider. And that's not a dig against anybody. Just, you got these 18-year-old guys, 18-year-old waifs, and, versus some of the more, beefier guys in the 70s. Not that they were all beefy. Some of them were really skinny, but, the strength doesn't necessarily matter, or the body composition. But it, does to some degree. But then again, these are, children's fantasy shows, so you can suspend your disbelief in a lot of those areas. Anyway, my point is, while the content is different and while the style is different, I really appreciate the more modern aesthetics of Kamen Rider, where, they're using the power of the evil guy, or the bad guys, for good. That's incredible. That's great. Just ask Marvel, they love that. But more than that, they're taking those same impulses, they're taking the same inputs, and they're filtering it a different way, and they're saying, you know what, I don't have to be like you. I don't have to be like you, Amatsu Gai. These Humagear don't have to be like the arc wills, where they're, malefic, we can choose to treat each other a different way, and we can choose to act in a different way, and we can choose to preserve and defend and protect life, all life, even your unworthy life, because you're, such a jerk. And I just love that attitude. It made me so scared, so upset. I honestly was very emotional when the Blue Beetle, whatever, that Angie got turned into, when Amatsu Gai spun him around and put him as a human shield. I thought, oh no, a Humagear shield. Anyway, I was just like really upset, and then he cured him, and that was just so awesome. And that was something I loved. So this is Yu Yu Takahashi in Ex-Aid, in Ex-Aid. There's something kind of similar, but it's very much purposeful, and the characters know what's happening, which I don't know if it makes it better or worse, but I like that it's different in the two shows written by the same guy. Yeah, it's really cool. And I've been waiting for 01 to be able to heal and restore the Humagear to regular old Humagear. And he was able to, and it was just so lovely, and I was glad to see that Angie was fine, especially, like, he had a really cool, like, it was funny, like, he's this Humagear actor, he's such a good actor, I thought, like, oh man, the priest, he's been touched by the evil of the Ark, and he's going to join, and then I was like, wait, but he's not really a priest, is he? Isn't he? And then, oh yeah, he is the actor Humagear, and he straight up, like, I love the way he turned it around on Amatsu Gai. Amatsu Gai's like, did you trick me? And he's like, well, I am an actor, come on, dude. Anyway, so that was really great, but then, so I had a very strong, like, they did a really good job setting up, like, the emotional tie to Angie specifically, and then seeing him put in peril, completely turned me against Guy. Any shred of sympathy or hope or whatever I had for the guy just flew out the window. And then, when the dastardly devil threw the Humagear in front of him, Angie, I was just so upset, and then, oh no, he got saved. Whew. So, this episode was an emotional roller coaster. I loved it. I'm sorry, I kind of dissed, oh man, I don't have his name in front of me anymore. Minato Takano? Is that the name of the writer? Maybe? Yes? No? I paused real quick and confirmed, yes, Minato Takano. Thank you very much. Good work. Nice writing. Morota, great directing. This was a fabulous episode, and I'm really excited for what's coming next. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. MJ Loves Toku can be found on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Check out mjmunoz.com for more my other review series, another writer cast, where I sample all the Heisei writers from Kuga to Z, talk about Mobile Fighter G Gundam every single episode. Really great show. Going Ultra, where I discuss Ultraman, and my other channel /podcast /whatever is Swinging Through Comics, where I talk about Marvel Comics mostly. I did talk about Skullman there, and I am going to be talking about another Ishinomori comic, kind of a different weird animal special one soonish, so you can look forward for that. I also have writing projects over there on mjmunoz.com. If you love what I do and want to support me, my Coffee and Redbubble accounts have you covered. Relevant links below. If you had a good time, like, share, and leave a comment. Subscribe and ring that bell to stay current on my weekly 01 reviews. And remember, you don't have to shout henshin to be a hero. So, speaking of you don't have to shout henshin to be a hero, how heroic was Izu and all those Humagear putting themselves on the line in danger? Like, they've all got jobs to do, but they all stopped what they were doing to help this dude who's helped them. And, oh, man, it's just so friggin' good. Like, the heroic elements of what these Humagear were doing were so cool. And he's just like a dude who's good at computers. You're the guy who's good at drilling and hammering, and, the construction guy, he's just like, I'm going to, use my skills to take care of this. And it's so cool. Like, the lifting up, the elevating of the mundane into the heroic is very exciting to me, and it's really great. And I thought it was just they did such a good job. It helped that they had like triumphant horns, playing over the action of these guys, doing the heroic stuff. But it was really cool. So I have on the Redbubble. If you're looking at the screen, you should be able to see this. I have a couple Tokusatsu designs. I have a Battle Hopper with like Kamen Rider Black's colors behind him. You can get a shirt or a sticker or whatever. And then I have just like the logo for the show. And I'm probably going to try to add more of those. If you want if you like the idea of that Battle Hopper bike thing, I was planning on doing that for the other writers, but I was probably going to do like the most popular writers first, and then just kind of branch out from there and maybe do every single Kamen writer because why not? Uh, every writer is somebody's favorite, and they might appreciate that sort of thing. So I might do that. Let me know if you're interested.